Go ahead.
All right, so here we are looking at some of our success and effective practice from stories from the field, from your colleagues. So hopefully this is somewhat self-explanatory and even might be legible. But we talked about peer support and inclusion in all types of agency work, and some agencies are interested in that, go after it, and able to achieve it. Others, there's a different kind of scene and a different way to use peer support services, and really we want to be sure that we can reflect and help and guide sort of any and all of those environments. But so kind of talking about including them in work, including them in meetings and planning, etc. So we found that more inclusion equals better service, better understanding from the service. And I think the group kind of could make a consensus on that. However, can't really do that unless we can provide some better guidelines and things like that. So we've got full integration of PSS throughout agency service continuum as a goal, as something we've seen create a lot of success and momentum for the use of peer support. And then opportunity to help peer support develop a personal and professional culture. So clinicians, we have this kind of spelled out for us somewhat in our training and then somewhat to our adaptation of the agencies we work in. But what does this look like for peer support? And we've got some really good examples around the state where people are practicing really good professional and personal culture, and other areas where there's some room for growth and opportunity to develop better boundaries and things like that. So hiring and cultivating peer support and recovery support services that include staff with excellent, and I put a ... there because I think that in this success is really like using the hiring process to really identify what it is that peer support and recovery support services can do for your agency in the way your agency is working and the way it's moving towards, from my point of view, recovery-oriented systems of care and things like that, means you need to hire staff with great qualities. We don't have an environment right now where it's like we've got tons of peer support staff coming at you, but we've heard stories from the field in which the excellent qualities of some of these peer support folks have really helped them to develop out their peer support services. So just like with any job, looking for people with excellent skills. So encouraging peer support to introduce recovery services and the values and principles behind the certification process and all of that to agency staff. So self-advocacy within the agency. This allows the staff to see how the peer support and recovery support services can assist them in their work. So sort of helping augment some of their work, but always being cautious to not use recovery support services as some kind of tool to just get clinical work done more effectively, but a more integrated way to see it. So continue to be open-minded and learn from one another. Clinical, managerial, administrative, peer support, kind of working all together. Aligning peer support with the trajectory of a continuum of care. I really liked what I was hearing about peer support being able to integrate through the prevention, treatment, and recovery process. And so being able to realize that the acute and outpatient space is where a lot of like the clinical actions are taken, but the way peer support can really be used is to help bring people into the acute setting. In one case, we have example of peer support working and collaborating collateral contact with jails. So getting folks who are facing that kind of situation, bringing them, giving them the opportunity to get into services for acute care and then outpatient services afterwards, and then moving on to other recovery support services that are provided in the area where the agency is. So building those networks and things you guys already have done, and peer support is really good at helping to do that through doing these collateral relationships, developing them, maintaining them, and cultivating them with the help of and support of the clinical and administrative part of the agencies, so that folks can have a better chance of getting connected with good continuing care providers, so the recovery, long-term recovery outcomes are likely to be much higher. So here, just pointing out that if we can use recovery services and peer support effectively, we really can have it permeate throughout the prevention, the treatment, and the recovery kind of spheres of treatment. So that's the morning session.